Now, it's no secret that I have a lot of SH MonsterArts figures in my collection, so I thought today we'll do something just a little bit different, and I'll give you guys my top 10 personal favorite SH MonsterArts figures that I have in my collection. Kicking off our list at number 10, guys, it's the SH MonsterArts Mogira, specifically the first release. Now, if you had asked me to make this list maybe 2 or 3 months ago, this figure probably wouldn't have been on the list. However, after doing my recent review of this figure here, I've grown to appreciate this figure, and I think it's fantastic. I love the articulation for what you get, the detail is fantastic, the accessories are absolutely incredible, and overall, I think this is a very solid release. Almost underrated, actually. I mean, not many people talk about this one. In fact, I was one of the people that really glossed over this figure, again, until after doing that review, and I've grown to love it. I think this figure is phenomenal, and it's for that reason that this figure takes the number 10 spot on this list. Coming in at number 9, guys, we have the SH MonsterArts King Ghidorah Special Colors version, specifically the Heisei King Ghidorah. This figure is absolutely incredible. It has an overall amazing shelf presence. I mean, that gold glimmer that this figure has is insane. I love the color scheme of this one here. I also love the sculpted details and the general aesthetic of the Heisei Ghidorah figure here. The Heisei Ghidorah is one of my favorite designs of the character, and I think this figure captures that pretty faithfully, albeit a little bit stylized, but I sort of like that, and I like the accessories that this one comes with as well. And I am a little biased towards that one, I will admit, because this figure here I got in a massive parcel when I ordered a bunch of SH MonsterArts figures at the same time. So that memory for me is absolutely incredible. In that parcel was this figure and a couple other characters that appear on this list. I'll leave that down in the description or the pinned comment somewhere so you guys can hear that story. But number 9, SH MonsterArts King Ghidorah Special Colors version. At number 8, we have the SH MonsterArts 1962 Godzilla, King Goji as some call it, the Godzilla from King Kong vs. Godzilla. This figure, again, is another one of my personal favorites. I think it's absolutely incredible. Not only is King Goji one of my favorite Godzilla designs, so this figure sort of has that helping it a little bit, but this figure itself is sculpted so incredibly well. It's almost like a mini X Plus statue shrunken down. And yet, surprisingly, given the Godzilla design, you know, Godzilla being a little more hefty, a little more chunky in this incarnation, the articulation's actually pretty good as well. Now, it's not perfect, but it's serviceable, and it's for those reasons that King Goji here takes the number 8 spot on this list. Up next, guys, we've got the SH MonsterArts Final Wars Gigan. This specific figure here is the newer Decisive Battle version, and you can tell because he does have that grappling hook accessory. I've got that wrapped around the figure here. Now, this one's really, really nice. The details are fantastic. The articulation's also really, really good, although it is a little bit of an older figure, so the articulation is just a little bit finicky. The paint on this figure as well, absolutely incredible, guys. This was one of SH MonsterArts' strongest figures when it came out, and to this day, I still think it holds up pretty well. It might not be the most suit-accurate figure out there, but the overall design, the overall aesthetic of Final Wars Gigan definitely carries this figure. I think this one is absolutely incredible, guys. This one and the first release, they're both basically interchangeable, and it's for that reason that Gigan takes this spot on the list. Number 6 is a figure so large it ruins the display that I had set up for this video, and it's gonna mess with the camera's focus and quality. That is the SH MonsterArts Biollante. This one here is the Special Colors version, and this is absolutely an incredible figure and one of my top favorites. The general paint on Biollante here, the shading and the contrast between all of the elements, absolutely incredible. I mean, look at those back leaves and spines there. That looks really, really nice. The paint in the mouths, on all 4 of the vines, and the main body itself, absolutely incredible. Same with those tusks. And it's not just the paint, the detail on Biollante is incredible. There isn't a part of this figure that hasn't been accounted for. And the articulation for such a large figure is absolutely incredible. Every single one of those vines can move all over the place. You can get them in quite literally any pose you could ever imagine. In fact, the head Biollante has there also moves up, and you have a joint cover there just to cover the gaps. That's absolutely incredible. And on top of all of that, Biollante has a light up feature in its core there. This figure is absolutely incredible, and of course it's one of my favorites in my collection. At number 5, guys, halfway through the list, we've got the SH MonsterArts Shin Godzilla Atomic version, Awakening version, whatever you want to call it. This figure is absolutely incredible, and it was a holy grail of mine for the longest time, and recently I was actually able to purchase it for a pretty good deal. Now, unfortunately, it was missing a couple of its accessories, and since I've had it, the tail has kind of broken a little bit, so it is being propped up by that rock piece there. But those faults definitely don't hold this figure back. This figure is absolutely incredible. The purple on the spines are gorgeous. The split mouth and the color inside Godzilla's mouth there, absolutely incredible. The translucency of the figure, insane. I absolutely love this thing, and it depicts arguably the most powerful scene from the Shin Godzilla movie. The scene where Godzilla does shoot his atomic breath, he shoots the beam from its spines. This figure is just absolutely incredible for a whole plethora of reasons that I could just keep gushing about, but I'm trying to keep this list sort of short, so maybe I'll have to save that for a review. Let's move on. Number 4, guys, it's Destroyer. This figure has an absolutely incredible aura, an insane presence about it. Its general shelf presence is phenomenal. This figure is huge, and it definitely catches the eye. Now, Destroyer is one of my favorite characters in the franchise as well, so that definitely helps this figure make its placement on the list. But besides that, the general sculpted details on this thing are absolutely incredible. This thing is so immaculate. It might not be the most suit accurate, again, like Gigan as well, but this one here just looks phenomenal. And the paint shading on this thing, guys, incredible. From the legs to the claws to the back of Destroyer's carapace there, all the different colors, all the different reds and oranges and yellows and almost blacks in some area. Destroyer looks great color-wise, it looks great sculpt-wise, it has a fantastic shelf presence, and it's one of my favorite characters in the series, so naturally it does make it a pretty high contender on the list, and it takes the number 4 spot. Number 3 on the list, guys, is a figure that I see barely anyone talking about, and I don't know why, because this figure here, the SH MonsterArts Godzilla 2017 figure, is arguably one of the best figures in the line, and it's one of my personal favorites. The design of Godzilla itself, say what you will about the movies that it comes from, the design of Godzilla itself here, absolutely genius. I think it's incredible just seeing this hulked out, muscular Chad of a Godzilla walking around, and the general design inspiration is also pretty cool. The whole web of DNA thing, he's a plant, he takes elements from other sort of successful creatures in life, and the Earth essentially creates the ultimate character. I think that is absolutely incredible. So I love the design of Godzilla here, I love the inspiration from it, and it translates very, very nicely into figure form. This figure here, it could also be substituted with the Godzilla Earth figure. However, I went with Godzilla 2017, Godzilla Phileas as some call it, because this one here in my personal collection, this one actually moves a little smoother than the Godzilla Earth figure I have, and I didn't want to duplicate the list, so this guy's going on instead of Godzilla Earth. This figure is incredible. I love the design of Godzilla, I love the inspiration from the anime trilogy, say what you will about the movies, but the figure itself, absolutely incredible. Great sculpted details, great articulation, incredible size and heft. This figure is awesome, and I wish more people would talk about it. Let's move on to the runner-up. Alright guys, here he is, the runner-up. I'm just as shocked as you. My second favorite SH MonsterArts figure in my collection is the SH MonsterArts Godzilla Evolved figure from Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Ever since I got this thing has just grown on me, guys. I don't know how to describe it. This figure has been my go-to when it comes to size comparisons. It's been my go-to when it comes to random Godzilla figures to use for things like potential thumbnails. This figure is just a fun figure to mess around with. The articulation is absolutely incredible, guys. This thing moves nice, it feels nice. I mean, just look at that tail. It's incredible. The articulation, fantastic. The details, they're pretty good. It's maybe a little stylized, but I sort of like that. And I don't know how else to describe it, guys. This thing has just grown on me. Maybe it's recency bias, I don't know. But this figure here is my second favorite SH MonsterArts figure in my collection, at least as of right now. Maybe it'll be dethroned by another one of these figures on the list, who knows. But for right now, this guy takes the penultimate spot, number 2, my second favorite SH MonsterArts Godzilla figure in my collection. Let's move on to number 1. And to the shock of absolutely no one, of course my favorite SH MonsterArts figure, it was always going to be the SH MonsterArts Kiryu. Kiryu is my favorite character from the Godzilla franchise, and this figure here, the very figure that you are looking at, was the first SH MonsterArts figure I ever got. It was the first figure from the SH MonsterArts line that I ever added into my collection. And what an absolutely incredible figure it was, especially to be my first one. Now, it was a toss-up between this figure here and the Shinagawa Final Battle version of Kiryu, but the 2003 Tokyo SOS version of Kiryu is my favorite. And again, this one here was the first SH MonsterArts figure I ever got in my collection, so it holds a special place in my heart for that as well. So I just had to put this one in the number 1 spot. But if I could, I would put that Shinagawa version also in the number 1 spot, but I tried to limit this list to just one character, one figure representing each character, so it had to be this Heavy Arms Kiryu. And that's basically it, guys. My number 1 favorite SH MonsterArts figure in my collection, the SH MonsterArts Heavy Arms Kiryu. And there we have it, guys. That was my top 10 personal favorite SH MonsterArts figures in my collection. I think we have a pretty good selection here, but I want to hear about your guys' personal top 10. Let me know down in the comment section below which top 10 SH MonsterArts figures in your collection are your favorite. I've been Takaiju Down Under, and I'll see you all in the next video.